afternoon, Australia. This is Speed Week. Headed your way on today's show, the Sports Sedans in the O'Brien Aluminium Series running at Oran Park. This has been a huge success with 4 fields of some very serious machinery. Today we catch the third of the races in round 1, and just to add in a touch more excitement, it's a reverse grid race. Des Wall in his Chev-powered Supra has to find his way around 30 others if he wants the win. Oran Park, first up, it's the Sports Sedans. Your commentators are Greg Rust and Lance Robertson.
Nice to have your company here at Sydney's Oran Park Raceway. This is heat number 3 of the prestigious $50,000 O'Brien Aluminium Sports Sedan Series. Lance Robertson, reverse grid racing should be exciting.
It certainly should be. The concept of bringing the slower drivers to the front in the reverse grid format for their starting positions is certainly interesting. A noticeable exception from the starting lineup is the Barry Jamieson Falcon EB driven by Paul Nielsen, who unfortunately crashed out in controversial circumstances in race number 2. And Marie Claire caught up with both owner and driver a short time ago.
I'm not that disappointed about the car. It's going to be a very time-consuming thing. I'm grateful that Paul didn't get injured. But, you know, I take this opportunity to suggest that some of the driving standards out on the circuit need to be looked at. It's dangerous. Sooner or later, somebody's going to get hurt badly. People that are driving out there, they've got to be aware of other people around them. And in this particular case, the other driver, he was a lot slower and he should have been using his mirrors and making sure that he made room for the more experienced and faster drivers.
Well, some very strong words there from car owner Barry Jamieson and a very disconsolate-looking Paul Nielsen. We are set for a start. Will it be McDonald off the line or Miller? Miller gets a very good start. Nabin gets off the line very smartly also in the Mazda RX-7. We're aboard with Peter O'Brien and the O'Brien Aluminium Ford Sierra V6G. He's gotten a good start. You can see McDonald just on the inside there in the Alpha. He has really made his way through this field very smartly, has Peter O'Brien. They come down into Argent Corner for the first time. Some of the field just getting on the inside of O'Brien there. Your leader is Bill Narbon. Now this is the ex-Group C Alan Moffat Mazda RX-7 and she is looking absolutely perfect.
Certainly is, and Bruce DeBoo coming up there into second placing, and the cars are still streaming through. It'll take a few laps for them to sort themselves out. Remember, the faster drivers are at the back of the grid in the starting lineup. Our race leader Bill Narbon in car number 33, the Mazda RX-7, works hard in the last corner, but look at DeBoo behind him, plenty of oversteer there as he makes his way onto the main straight. On board inside the beautifully prepared Sierra V6 onto the main straight, and look at the way that Crompton's V8 just pulls away from them in the left-hand top corner of the screen.
Yes, the awesome V8 certainly getting through the traffic very, very smartly. Managed to talk to Des Wall prior to the start of this race, and he said he was going to take things fairly tentatively as he fought his way through the traffic. One man, though, who's not taking it fairly easy is Ivan Mikac, up into second place at the moment. This is the 300-plus horsepower purpose-built Mazda RX-7. The car is a kit car basically that hails from Perth, and I tell you, he is really putting it to good effect now, right up on the back of Narbon as they come down into the bottom corner. Simply dives up the inside very, very late under brakes and takes the lead.
Well, you can certainly see the advantage of much bigger brakes on Mikac's car, and he's simply running away with it. Now he's got nothing but clear space in front of him as we take the opportunity to take a replay of the action. You can see the way that Mikac just sees a sniff of an opening up the inside of the Mazda and leaves his braking exceptionally late and gets away with it this time.
The question is, can Bill Nabin now stay with Mikac as they make their way down the main straight? We'll soon find out. Peter O'Brien there with his hand out the side of the car in the Ford Sierra. Obviously something going wrong with that car. That is very bad luck. Oh, Morecambe's off as well. Morecambe's had a spin. This is the ex-Darren Pate VP Commodore. He has spun to the infield. I can't believe that. Desperately bad luck for him. He was settling into that car so well. This is your leader, Ivan Mikac. Look at the gap. He is already pulling out over second place. He is not had the best of times in qualifying for these races here at Oran Park. The car had a bit of a rear end problem of some kind, but really on the pace now though.
He certainly is, and driving much cleaner through that last turn onto the main straight this time around. No problems with regards to air getting in the road or being upset. As we saw last time around, down the main straight he comes again, getting a little bit wriggly under brakes as he turns into Egypt to yet again start another lap here at Oran Park. You can already see the distance gap that he's got over second placing, and pretty shortly he should be actually overtaking some of the slower drivers. There's a lot of dust on the track here, Greg Rust, especially through this next section. The wind is playing a bit of havoc.
Doesn't really seem to be slowing Ivan Mikac up too much in his RX-7, just making his way around some of the back markers very nicely. The good news is Des Wall, Lichtenberger, Gerwall, and a whole host of some of the fast chargers have made their way around the back markers. And would you believe that Phil Crompton, here he is on screen now, all the way from Queensland in the Pacific Performance Machine, has had a real mixed weekend, frankly, but he's up into second place at the moment and doing a terrific job. This is our early race leader, Bill Narvin, now down in fourth place. The giant killing Fiat 131 of Graham Smith is now up into third place. Now look, you can see just in behind Narvin, there's Lichtenberger and Des Wall in the Supra. They make their way down the straight, the three of them. It's a drag race to the bottom of the Oran Park circuit here. Osborne, also from Queensland, in the RX-7 up there fighting with it as well.
Well, the ACT driver Ivan Mikac in the purpose-built Mazda RX-7 driving hard through the back section of the circuit for the second last time, as we see Bob McDonald in the Alfa Romeo go a bit of grass cutting on the inside of the last turn there. Bad luck for the Citibank Alfa Romeo driver. No such problems for our race leader Ivan Mikac in the all-conquering Mazda RX-7 as he leads the field onto the main straight for the last time. This is the final lap as we see him going through the slower drivers. The series sponsor Ron O'Brien on the right-hand corner of your screen in the little Mazda RX-3. And of course, Ron O'Brien from O'Brien Aluminium sponsoring the great sports sedans here at Oran Park. It's great to see him mixing business with pleasure. On screen now is Crompton, still back there in second placing. Third is being held down by Graham Smith, and these drivers are on their final lap.
So there's a little bit of smoke coming from Phil Crompton's car that time around. Let's hope that he can coast it to the finish. Mikac now making his way very carefully through some of the back markers. With only a few corners left to negotiate, he'll want to take his run through here very, very carefully. It's been a terrific drive from him, though. Had a real mixed weekend and a lot of problems that he's had to sort out, but he's done all that, and he deserves this victory, frankly. A very good drive from Ivan Mikac. He makes his way down the main straight to greet the checkered flag.
Second place is going to be held down by Phil Crompton, who's working hard onto the main straight at the moment, and Graham Smith in a cliffhanger with Des Wall. Smith finishing in third, getting the upper hand, but the fast-charging Des Wall, yet again the fastest man out on the circuit, setting a 43.41 time on his final lap.
Well, that wraps up the first round of the prestigious O'Brien Aluminium Sports Sedan Series. Each round, of course, consisting of 3 races. And finishing in third place overall is Graham Smith in the Fiat. Second goes to John Gerwald in a superb debut in his new Commodore. But first outright, proving unstoppable once again in the awesome Chevy-powered Supra, Des Wall.
Well, that wraps up round 1 of the series, and with 2 rounds remaining this season, you can bet it's only going to get tough.